Happy Friday!
Happy
Friday!
Friday!
Oh my gosh. Hello, hello. Oh, it's so good to see you, Julie. Oh my gosh. You are just so incredible. Those red lips. I'm loving it.
I
So
think it's a massive thing now. Freedom Friday with some red lipstick on.
love
Yeah,
it.
brings out the
I'll take
color.
it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. So we're going to give just a minute for the social interwebs to all connect. And hopefully, if you're watching this and you are live with us, please let us know where you're watching from, and we'd love to connect with you. We'd love to interact with you. We love technology as well, and we're testing out different platforms. So we may not be able to see your comments right away, but we're hoping that we can. So just if you can comment and let us know where you're tuning in from. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, maybe you're on LinkedIn, wherever you're at and wherever you're watching this, please let us know. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Crystal Cruz with Cruz Beyond Limits Consulting. I am a life, fitness, and business accelerator, and I'm on a mission to empower you to put yourself and your health first for just 34 minutes a day so we can reduce the stress and overwhelm of life and live a more fulfilling life. Because who doesn't want that, right? So, and I want to introduce you, my amazing co-host here today is Julie Huan Yim. I have to make sure I say it right.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Incredible woman. I'll let her introduce herself. But welcome to Freedom Friday. And Julie, if you want to just kick it off, let us know what, who you are, what you're all about, and share a little bit about what Freedom Friday is all about.
Let's go. So my name is Julie Huang Yim. I am a CEO of a manufacturing called Team Corp. We manufacture aluminum foil pans. We specialize in private labeling. And I'm also a scale-up consultant with Focus Partners. So I focus on small businesses to medium sizes to take them from, let's say, 5-figure to 6-figure. And I think Crystal and I have, we talk quite a bit. First of all, she's my mindset. I keep doing this. Remember last time I was trying to do
Yes,
this?
because it's mirrored.
Yeah. So this is my coach for fitness, and I believe that you need to have people that are smarter than you in your circle to really help you elevate. And I can tell you, every time I talk to Crystal, is like, let's go. We're both like so amped up, and the energy is great. So happy Friday, wherever you are. I think you mentioned like 4 platforms. See, I'm following her lead to make sure the technology is
Wait.
good.
I'm pointing to the wall, but really I'm pointing to you.
Yeah. But yes, and to kick it off today, we are starting a whole series, or Chris Lord is starting a whole series, and I'll be as often as I can on here to talk about what Freedom Friday really is and how can we help you achieve Freedom Friday. So I'll start with why I started this idea. So being a small business owner, I've worked myself into so many different situations with health because you're doing it all. Like I hear all the time, solopreneurs, right? We all start somewhere. So during that time, it was like, wow, I work every single day. It felt like I was working to work more. Even when I was becoming an executive, it was like, oh, then I should have like a more luxurious life. No, you just do more. But then I realized it was the mindset. It was truly like your mindset, like, okay, everyone has 24 hours a day, right? How do we make that hour the most efficient? I always talk about this every day at work. They're tired of hearing it from me. Efficiency and effectiveness. That is all we care about. So Freedom Friday is simply just means to me, I get to do whatever I want on Fridays. And why is that so important? Once I figured out I was working so much, it was like, what am I really, am I result driven, or I'm just in the middle of all of this work, right? So then I go, okay, let me be more efficient. What if I can finish, let's say, a 6-hour of work using like a lot of people around me that are smarter than me, and now even AI, right? Just to finish the task even faster. And this is not easy, not easy, but I can tell you I've achieved at least every other Friday I do get to relax. Like this morning in Houston, Texas, weather is good. We took our puppy on our e-bikes, had a great time, went to get some amazing coffee. And I hope that everyone gets to do that in the future, right?
Mhm.
I'm here to work hard right now, but to work less later, not to work, to work, to work, to work. So does that make sense? And if
Yes.
to you it does, please tell me what Freedom Friday means to you.
Yeah. So I think when we first started this conversation, what really stood out to me is your ability to time block and recognize the priorities and what's important, right? And so, as we're on this journey together, through health and fitness and, mindset and all of that, I focus a lot on healthy habits, right? But I have never actually fully blocked out a whole day. Right, and so this has been so intriguing to me. So I'm on this journey for Freedom Friday, right?
Yay!
I'm
That's the
kinda
goal, right?
behind today, but my goal is for next Friday is gonna be my first official Freedom Friday. So I just
Okay.
wanna say thank you for the inspiration because as much as I like, I think you called me, like, smarter than you but I'm not, right? We all have these different skills that we can learn from each other, and that's the cool part about being in a community, right? But like
Mm-hmm.
as much as I talk about healthy habits and time blocking and I have a habit tracker, I wrote a planner, like I published a
Super
journal.
organized, by the way. I'm like, I am
Yeah,
not.
because I have like 10 squirrels up here. I have so many ideas, like so many moving parts to my business and my life that I have to keep it organized. And that's what the whole point is, to organize the chaos, to live a fulfilling life. Right. And so I love how you really did inspire me by just saying, like, hey,
Oh,
you
I'm
can
so
take a
glad.
whole day off.
Yeah, why not? You're an
Yeah.
entrepreneur.
And
You control your right, your schedules and what you want to do. And I think like setting intentions are so important. Like I talked about that theme last time we were live. The theme of the year is peace, but I still set a theme every week. So like with my team this week, we are focusing on retention with clients. This week we're focusing on scaling up. This week we're focusing on marketing. So like if you already know ahead of time, you're pre-planning your worst case scenario, let's say they really, really need you, then you're still on call, right? I mean, freedom fighter, but this is still here in case
mhm.
emergencies. But the communication I've had with my team is unless it's a true emergency, because I don't want to come back into the team and be like solving it in 2 seconds. That tells me you didn't try. And so I kind of worked out this culture where I empower my team members. I actually, you know, do reviews, quarterly reviews, so I can see if they're capable. I constantly challenge them, give them like tasks. So then we can all have Freedom Fridays. I actually don't set a whole schedule for any of my team members. I'm a result driven person. So if it takes you an hour to do it, if it takes you 2 days to do it, that's on you. So if they want to have a free day, doesn't have to be Friday. That's just what I like because my husband gets like every other week off as well. So this, I think this idea has been so long. The 98, this corporations have been doing this for a long time,
Mhm.
right? Like they give employees a day off of the week, so you have like a 3 day weekend. But I I appreciate you saying like I intrigued you and then like I inspired you. But what did it take for you to be like, okay, this is doable? Because back then I didn't think so. I just really aimed for it, and then it started materializing throughout a long time. So it's not like it's gonna happen tomorrow. So what did it take for you to kind of go there or
Yeah.
think like that?
So I think um I think what it's going to take is, first of all, like if I'm breaking it down, like I love breaking things down for people because it seems like way out there and it's so intimidating. People are like,
Mm-hmm.
Crystal, I can't work out with you. You're like way too fast. You're way too fit. Like, I'm like, no, let's break it down because I think that
Yes.
we get overwhelmed, right? So I really want to just kind of break it down. I think the first thing for me is recognizing like what brings me joy? What does
Mm-hmm.
freedom mean? Like, let's just really define what does freedom mean. So if you're catching this in the comments or you're catching this on replay, I want to hear from you too. Like if you when you hear the word freedom, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? For me, it's alignment.
Interesting.
I
Expand more, please.
so
Alignment.
and 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 I do a lot of this work because if I feel out of alignment with my purpose, with my values, with my passion,
Okay.
what brings
Yeah.
me joy, I've been feeling like it feels icky. You feel like you don't belong. It
Right.
feels like you're not in the right spot. Like something feels off, right? Especially like in the health and wellness journey. Like
Mm.
if you're telling yourself you want to be a happy, um, healthy, leader or an entrepreneur or business owner or mom or father or spouse, you want to be that, and the actions that are happening in your life right now, your daily habits, don't align with that vision that you want, it's going to feel icky because you're
Mm-hmm.
constantly reaching for something and you want it, but you're not actually doing things right. So I think it's important to really check in with your values and be in alignment. Make sure that the actions that you're doing are in alignment with your purpose, your passion, your goals, your values,
Mm.
right? And so being intentional and then showing up and doing that dang thing, like that's alignment, right? And that feels free. That feels like freedom to me. So that's one way that I look at it, which seems like a lot of work, but if you were to just like close your eyes right now, if you're not
Mm-hmm.
driving, or make sure you're safe, if you're
Yeah,
not on a
please
bike, right? Like,
walking, driving,
yes,
biking. Please don't
safety
call.
first. Yeah, here's your safety briefing. Um, like close your eyes and just imagine yourself. Like, what is alignment to you? What is freedom to you? How do you feel? Like, if you, I
Oh,
did a
peace.
meditation in my group last week. Like peace. Where are you? Are you on a beach? Are you in the mountains? Are you in the nature? Are you at your next level self? Are you in a C-suite, like in a with windows as your view? Like maybe it's a home office. Maybe it's with your children. Like imagine it. Imagine the possibilities. And I think that's a really great place to start because I think if you can't see it,
Absolutely.
then and you can't envision it, then how the heck are you going to figure out how to get there?
Absolutely. Especially it's like you said, it seems far away. It seems far fetched because you're like, well, I work a 9 to 5 job or whatever situation may be. Like I said, so it doesn't have to be Friday. I specifically picked this day, but I want to go back to what you were talking about the alignment. I asked you to expand that because this is why I love Crystal Lore, always learning something new. And I love what you're saying. By the way, I see a comment from Leo saying that alignment
Yeah.
is freedom. It is freedom. You're right, because I say, like, I want to do whatever I want. But at the same time, I already have that mindset. This day is going to be a happy day. That's one of the things I have to like. Everything that has to be delegated early in the morning, it's done, 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 done. So everything's already aligned. I never really looked at it that way. So I really like that because then you can start putting things all together and then just go. So I have a tip like how I started, and I'll kind of share that with everyone. Is that write down, and this is kind of like what I do for all of my consulting clients. Write down things like you like for your work, what you like to do, what you don't like to do. Because a lot of times
Mhm.
we don't like checking emails, we don't like syncing calendars, we don't. And then once you figure that out, to me, the freedom is freeing yourself from those tasks that, like I said the last time, it's called non-promotional tasks. Those are just things that you do anyway, but it's wasting your time. Annette is live.
Woo!
Yeah, so just saying hi.
Okay, it's working. We love technology.
I love technology. Yay! Hey, the first time we had a little bit technical
Yes, we did. But
difficulties,
we
but
keep coming back because we're
we
aligned
will
with our
come
purpose.
back. Yes. So So I think writing that down and then realizing, because I'm a visual person more than anything. So I wrote it down, and this is a long time ago. And I'm like, okay, so who can help me with this? I may not have an assistant, but I could, like you said, we're talking about time blocking. What if I just time block it and then finish it? Recently, you started doing website migration, right? That is
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot of work. I've been through that over and over, and I used to offer those services to clients as well. I just don't do that anymore. But that is a whole lot. So how do you take that and without being overwhelmed? And I think this may be that the alignment you're talking about, because once you're aligned with things that you like to do and you delegate things you don't want to do, that's freedom. So my freedom is more the day that I want to have a freedom day, just not just for myself, sometimes with family, whatever I want to do, that's what I mean. But it's also something I think everyone needs to be mindful is it's not just a day to be lazy or lay around because remember you've done the work, you're taking the steps like one after another to get here. So that day, I'm not saying you go work out, but I would say find ways and things that are going to elevate your mood, your spirit, and just it's a break, right? Like my parents have always told me, rest is so you can go a longer way. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a huge thing that why I'm finally, and I didn't know this was self care either. I didn't tie that together. So this is definitely a form of self care. Um, I kind of want to be more specific though, because I think everyone has their own ways. Maybe we can kind of touch on like, since we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis, right? Let's say one thing we can do to help or to advise our audience out there. What do you think that could be?
Hmm. I would say get outside with
Mm,
no agenda. Like just go outside, go for a walk.
love that. And don't forget
Or
to breathe.
yes.
I
Yeah.
love that. And then, okay, so that's kind of taking some time for yourself, right? That's kind of how we're talking about. So maybe our audiences, you should write down, okay, next week when I come on live again with Crystal Laura and Julie, I did go out. I did take an hour for myself. Hey, it's not Freedom Friday, but Freedom Hour. You
Mm-hmm.
start somewhere, right? I love that. So let's do that. Next week,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna come back and be like, where'd you walk to? How long did you walk? How was it? Was it happy? Was it fun? Was it enjoyable? I think that's important to kind of have a next step instead of just kind of talking about everything. So
Yeah, no, I love
great
that.
tip.
And so I think we've talked about my retreat before. So I host retreats in Costa Rica, and just one of the things that we've done, because it's in the jungle, it's in a beautiful place, we do a silent walk.
Oh,
And this is really hard for women to do, by the way.
yeah, because I
So
talk forever.
we do a
I'm
silent
gonna have
walk
to
in
tape my
nature.
mouth.
Yes, it is the most uncomfortable, really difficult thing to do, but it's so beautiful because no one has their phone and we're just silently walking and taking and using all of the other senses, because when we shut off the noise, when we shut out all the other things and we're not talking and processing, just like we would
Hmm.
drive down the road, right, where it's like the brain is processing so many things, we're like like collecting all that, we don't slow down enough to receive the beauty that's out there. And
Hmm.
so I want to maybe have a challenge. If you do this, um, maybe you go on a walk with your spouse or your children, or maybe it's a bike ride, like you do your bike rides, right? Do it in silence. Say, challenge yourself for the next 60 seconds. Mum's the word. Don't speak and just take in what's around. When you shut off one of the senses,
Mm.
other ones heighten.
Mm, makes
So
sense.
I think this is so powerful. And there's even like silent retreats out there. By the way, my retreats are not all silent. We just do one walk on one day. And it's
Julie's thinking
actually,
like,
no, no,
I
no,
can't
no.
talk. I talk so
No,
much.
it's actually quite funny for me as the facilitator and my team. We kind of giggle at it because it's typically around the first or second day that we do it, and I don't release the schedule at all. So that's part of like releasing and freedom, right? Because
Hmm.
we want to control everything. But it's kind of comical to watch a group of women that are all going on a walk in the jungle, right? And then you have to
I
tell them
can't
all to be quiet
imagine. Like I'm just
as
like, okay.
and
Oh,
they make
you
each
see,
other laugh. They
you're
like,
like,
yeah.
you see that? Oh, kiss it. Okay.
It's hard, right?
I can only
And
imagine.
yeah,
Which I will be
so
there. So not this year, but next year, which I think you only have a few spots left. I don't know, but
mhm.
I remember you said that there it's already kind of booked. Um, yeah, really get at her. I think someone put a link up.
Yeah,
Um,
Annette is on my team. She loves sharing links and helping to
Thank you,
support.
Annette.
So
That's
thank you.
amazing.
Talk
Yeah,
about
put
freedom on can we just talk about what else we need to do to get freedom? Is
yeah,
hire a
yeah.
team that is there to freaking support you. Like I just told her this morning. I said, "Hey, I'm going to be live today." She's like, "I'll be there."
Oh, I love
Right?
it.
And so having great people that
Mhm.
align with your values, that it's just you feel supported, you feel grounded, we're all in it together, and everyone wins. And,
Mhm.
you and I, we met through a community as well. Like it's just so cool.
It
And I
is.
think that really does help is having good people on your team that will support you. And, like we just cover each other. If she's, traveling, I'm like, okay, we got this. Like it's a team effort. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I know you have a big team and as you focus on scaling, I think
Yes.
scaling can breed freedom, or it can
Oh,
keep you stuck.
absolutely.
I'm in this scaling phase right now. And thank you for your help, by the way. But it's just
Of
it
course.
can be really challenging. So I'd love to know your
Absolutely.
thoughts.
Yeah, so um specifically you're saying like how to like the free give me the question again. My ADD.
Um,
I want to
so
answer the right question. So,
like because when you think about like what does it take to get freedom, right? So as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, or as a manager, right, how can we get there? And I think one of the ways is to hire a team and to get the right people. That so now that we know our values, we know when we're in alignment and when we're in flow and when we brings us joy. Now we kind of got to know our people too.
mhm.
And I think you do a really great job of that. So if you can share a little bit about how you align with your team, maybe some of the tips that you can share to connect,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
make sure that you're all in that flow so that you can take this day off or take a half day or whatever that is to go on a bike ride and enjoy the things that you do.
Yeah, so that's a great question because I wanted to make sure I provide value, especially with these lives. One thing that is the most important thing for my entire organization to be aligned is our core values. So literally, I talk about core values like every day, every week. I know they're tired of hearing it, but my core value is a fall principle. It's actually out there too. Like system, work ethic, I can't spell. System, attitude, and work ethic. It's SSAW. Okay, that is hang like in our offices, and why? But it doesn't explain anything. It's kind of different with everyone's mind, right? So what I tell them is, system is something that we have to make sure our SOP, right, standard operating procedures, and all the processes that flow including technology, because all of those things that have processes that we don't have to worry if it's already working. But the thing is the attitude and the work ethic, I can motivate you, but it comes from your team. It only comes from your team. So I think the key of how I was able to do that is that I want to see initiation. There's no ceiling in my company. I don't cap you. You show me what you got. And then we talk about what we prefer to do, because you got to put the right person in the right positions where they enjoy what they do. And if they enjoy what they do, the results are going to be amazing. And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? You just freed yourself from something else. Because I like my current office manager, I promoted her from just my assistant to now she's like running a lot of the things. But I had to make sure she's capable, she has the capacity, right? These are things we need to consider. And then once that transition, I want to talk about the good and the bad and the ugly though. The transition, the setting up so you can get there, to me, that was the hardest part. Because just like setting up anything, a company, a website, initially is going to be kind of hard. But then going forward, that's how you can continue to take things out, hire another person, because of course it matters of your financials. You need to have your revenue, you need to have your income so you can pay people. But this is where I come in. Like, how can we scale? A lot of people are like, I can't afford another person right now. Of course, that's what almost everyone says to me. But once we really look at it, there's so many ways you can actually keep the cost down, keep your spread more. So then you can have freedom anytime you want. Or, and I think the culture nowadays, think about Google, Facebook, right? They have that remote working, even NASA. So they can actually get more productive projects going because of that empowerment, that freedom. But going back to the core values, I think, does that answer your question, or like, does that help?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
No, I love it. And I think I love how, you're like, I want them, it's a transition and you want them to be in their best light, right? And
Mhm.
to for them to
Absolutely.
do what brings them joy.
Right.
And I think from an employee perspective or a team perspective, I'm a diversity and inclusion consultant as well. So I facilitate teams and I do this with groups of people. So I'm not only a fitness coach, right? So this hits me really hard because when it comes to employee engagement and retention, people want to feel seen, they want to feel valued, they want to feel engaged, they want to feel heard, they want to feel trusted, like they belong. And if they don't,
Mhm.
they're going to leave your company or your team. They're going to just get by, just check the boxes, or they're going to get even and create a toxic environment. And
Oh yeah, been there.
what I love about your outlook is you you empower. I think you said the word empowering because you empower your staff and your team to say, "Hey, show up. Let's see what's possible. We'll pivot. We'll see like, all right, what are you good at? Where can we put you in your strengths?" And then see where you go from there. And like if we as long as it meets the core values, there's so many ways to accomplish a goal and to make the company work, right, or the team work. And if it's working from home so you can take care of your family and the things that you have to at home, great. And if we're still meeting the goals and the needs of the company,
Mhm.
awesome. Right, I just think, and we always say this, is like we need to think outside the box.
Mhm.
And I've spent the last 21 years in the military, and it's like everything's got to fit in a box, right? And it's hard
Mhm.
to like to think when, because we're so conditioned of like, all right, everything has to be just right, right? And so change can be hard. Thinking outside the box can be hard. And also getting to know people. I think most of the leaders and business owners that I talk to, they're like, I don't have time. I don't have time to do that.
Mhm.
And I think one of the biggest tips that someone has shared with me, someone that I've been working with, they don't have a trash can in their office.
Mm.
So, and this is a good tip. So that if
Mhm.
there's garbage or post-it or like a banana peel, they actually have to get up and go to the break room, or go to the kitchen to throw out their trash. And that's a reminder and a system and a process, knowing that they want to connect and have value and meet and talk with their people to get to know their people, right?
Oh, that's a great tip. I love
So,
that. Hmm,
mhm.
interesting.
Yeah. So I
Ready?
just think
I'm writing
it's,
this down. I'm writing this down because
yeah.
anything I can
And,
learn and implement. Ooh, I like this.
and you get more steps. And if you can like think about, like, maybe this is another challenge for this week. So if you're working at a
Mm,
job, or maybe you own a business, whatever, just wherever you're at in your life, maybe it's in your household, maybe it's in your community, maybe it's at your church. We're creatures of habit, right? And so we go
mm-hmm.
to the same bathroom stall, even we walk the same path, right? Like, it's just, you have that,
Yeah.
you have your system, right? And your body is like,
Yep.
sometimes we're just like zombies and we just show up. I mean, I've driven and I gotten home and I'm like, how did I get home? What happened in the last 20
Like
minutes,
your
right?
mind is go somewhere else. Yeah.
Yes. So let's challenge ourselves to take a different route.
I
And
like
I
that.
love to do this in my community because I'm a runner. I'm a marathon runner and I'm training right now for the Buffalo Marathon. And I have this route, my favorite route that I go on, but I had to check myself the other day because I'm like, it's 80 degrees and sunny. I'm like, I'm gonna go on a different route. And it's like it's like, ooh, hang on, but it
A
can
little
be exciting.
uncomfortable,
Yes.
but then it became oh, okay. So we always kind of have that mindset first, kind of like a pre notion of, hey, this may be like that, but if we just change that mindset, that's what I'm hearing. Then, like you said, a different path, and it was exciting. So I think the unknown is like, why do we have so much anxiety in this society right now? It's just the
Mm.
unknown, the fear, that like. But if you know your vision, your direction, and surround yourself with the people that can help you and that are genuine, right? There's a whole lot, and you're gonna go through trials and tribulations because this is not easy. The talks that Chris Lord and I have, are things that, I mean, we've been through a whole lot, and we're still learning. So that's why it's a platform. Like, she's trying to make sure that it's like everywhere, because anything that we can help, or anyone that we can work with, is a blessing to me, because we both of us have very similar core values, morals and values, and business, how everything goes. And I just know, if anyone wants to work with us, if anyone goes to her retreat, like, I make sure my reputation is, uh, when I refer, it's got to be like something I would do. So I'm literally telling you guys, I'm going next year, but make sure you start budgeting, because it sounds like, oh my God, it is so much. A lot of people, most people haven't gone into any kind of retreat, because they're like, what retreat? I got to pay bills. But like last time I was talking about budgeting, not only that, I think your program has like, installment payments. There's so many different
Mhm.
ways. But I think in terms of, divide whatever package you have and into, hey, I can save like $100 a day, blah, 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 or however you do it. Then, to me, you'll feel so good once you're there, because you're like, I've done all these things, and then now I have the freedom to go to a retreat, right? Because like, a lot of us are the same way. Like, how am I going to afford it? Well, they're my kids. Who's going to do this? Like, a lot of things will go on in our mind. The same thing I'm talking
Mhm.
about. Things like we would like to do. I want to go to this retreat, but here's things I don't want to do. What if I can hire a nanny? Can I afford a nanny? Or, there's things that you can check off. And then before
Mhm.
you do it, you look at, you're like, oh, I can go. Like, instead of, oh, I don't know, I'm scared. Blah, 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 blah. I think it takes commitment, to, like, going back to our first point, what's freedom to you, right? Freedom to you, Crystal, is different than freedom to me. It's different than anyone that we know. Freedom is just so different. People have financial freedom. People want just different things. But ultimately, freedom is freeing yourself. Like, it feels so good. I mean, it's not. It sounds like I'm bragging about what I did today, but holy cow, no! Like, it's like it took a while, and so I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? It's like it's so amazing to be able to talk about it after everything I've gone through, and kind of, am I still gonna have Freedom Friday every week? Sometimes no. Do I work on weekends? Sometimes yes. It's that's the entrepreneur life. But
Hmm.
if we have something that's like in our mind telling us, okay, I can be more efficient, more effective, so I can have freedom. So I can go to Crystal cheap. You know what I mean? Like it's doable. That's all I'm saying. It's very, very doable. And coming from somebody that I did door-to-door sales for like 2 years in commission. CEO is the title, like the last life that we talk about. But I was able to go to some trips even when I was doing just sales before, door-to-door commission, because I think goal settings and things like that are very, very important. That's why I think we're trying to get some goals. Can we get some like questions in, or does it really work that way here?
Yeah, we can. We'll just have to follow up with the comments. I'm seeing some
Oh, okay.
comments from LinkedIn. It looks like we're just live on LinkedIn. So if anybody's live, say hashtag live. If you're catching this on replay, make sure you say hashtag replay and ask your questions, because we'll continue to engage after this session's up. So we have about 10, little less than 10 minutes. So
Okay.
do you want to ask some questions, Julie?
Well, I
Or
mean, yeah. So three main topics that we we really touch upon is, what does freedom mean to you, right? And then
Mhm.
what does it take to get there? But then, like, what are you currently doing is something we already kind of discussed, but I want to be more specific on that, because I think most of at least for me, when I don't know, then I can't act. There's no actions after that. The same thing how I like in business, I always talk about people first, strategy, then execute. So if I don't have a strategy, then it's like, I don't know what am I gonna do.
Mhm.
So what are you doing to get there? Where you type, right? Like we talked about this. So the challenge is next week when we all meet again. Bring your friends, bring people that you think can benefit this. Let's have a conversation. We want to answer questions. I would love to talk to Crystal 24/7, but we're here to help you. So, um,
Yes.
what are you doing to get there, Crystal? And I'll share mine. Like even as today, like what are you doing to make
So
sure that you have that freedom?
So freedom, in order to implement freedom, once you know where you're going, like you said, like you gotta know what is going to bring you joy, that's going to give you the freedom that you're looking for. And it could be different for everyone, right? So I think the biggest question is, um, where are you going? How are you going to get there? And what are you doing right now? So for me, um, I have to set boundaries,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And boundaries
Oh
are
yeah.
really, really hard, especially if you're starting to implement them. And
Mhm.
especially if you want, for instance, if you want to lose 10 pounds, we might need to set some boundaries within our household with maybe our spouse or our children around nutrition and hydration and our sleep patterns and what it means to be healthy in the household and what our non-negotiables are. And I
Mhm.
think really trying to figure out, okay, what are our non-negotiables? What are our boundaries? What do we need to set into place so that we can achieve the freedom? And I think that's in my experience and with the people that I work with, sometimes the boundaries are the hardest thing because we're in our own head of what we want and we have this like perception of what freedom should be, but then in
Mhm.
reality, you actually have to act on it, which means you have to have some powerful conversations
Oh
and you
yeah.
actually have to say what you want to accomplish out loud to someone else. And that
Mhm.
makes it real. And
Right.
that sometimes is the hardest part.
Because then you're
Um,
committing. Like, no, when I say it, it's like
mhm.
now I'm committing to it. I gotta hold myself accountable for it. So even on telling you Freedom Friday, like I said, I don't know if I can do it every Friday because work is getting a little bit more. But I'm going always to have that goal of having Freedom Friday. So then
Mhm.
it becomes just something that it's in my mind all the time, so I can take a break, whatever I need to do, get a massage, play with my kids, whatever I want to do. But like what Leo's saying, it is a powerful question. What are you doing to get to your freedom? Right now, due to my manufacturing business is launching some like a huge project, I don't have freedom for with my sleeping schedule. Okay, so I think that's what I'm working on to get more of that freedom. So one of the things is I need a person that can take on my tasks at nighttime during the US hours so then I can sleep. And right
Yeah.
now I don't have that yet. So um, I just think that we're constantly working on this. We're not just coming up here and saying, "Hey, Freedom Friday, we all have it." Like, no, it's a constant work in
Mhm.
progress. And like Annette says, freedom isn't free. We're sacrificing all of this. That's that's a lot of time is money, effort is money. Yeah, counting for a military spouse. So, oh yes, cherished every single day. Well, that's so cool. You just pulled up her comment.
Mhm.
I'm here like I'm amused by like this. Go on, take it.
Shiny objects.
I'm like,
So
whoa.
I wanted to go back to one of the things that you said before regarding um, going in a different place or trying something new or a new route, for instance, and why we
Mhm.
resist that. Because I think this plays a huge role in setting boundaries because in our mind, so as an emotional intelligence facilitator and coach, I study the brain and what happens under stress and pressure, right? So
Mhm.
your brain, everyone's brain has lanes, right? We make decisions based on safe, unsafe, familiar, unfamiliar, right? And so the brain
Mhm.
is constantly processing these decisions all day long. And so it's no wonder why we want to stay safe. Our brain and our body is going to
Mhm.
feel uncomfortable in a new space, right? And so, and I want to bring this up because change is uncomfortable. And when we
Mhm.
see something like freedom, for instance, it means, like you said, sacrifice. We're constantly sacrificing, but we get one shot at this life, one shot.
Ooh,
And if
that's
you have a
powerful.
dream,
Yes.
you have a goal, like, why not go after it? Why not live your best life? Why not feel freedom? Why are we just conditioned to listen and take over, have all these other thoughts and people and society and like I call them the OPOs, the other people's opinions that keep us
The
staying
OPOs.
small. OPOs,
Okay, I'm learning that
other
too. I mean,
people's
exactly.
opinions, right?
They
I just
shouldn't
think,
affect us. Yeah,
yeah, I see so
but it's
much.
hard.
It is. And
Yeah.
so I think this is just so important because the more you can understand how your nervous system and how your brain processes things, I think it gains a sense of control over
Mhm.
you have the ability and the capability to change that narrative.
Right.
And I think that is empowering. And that is the first step towards freedom is saying, I do have the power to make a change. So where
Mhm.
do I feel out of alignment? Where am I not feeling freedom? And start there and say, okay, what's stopping me from showing up? What's stopping me from going to the gym? What's stopping me from going for a walk? What's stopping me from spending time with your family and your loved ones? Start there. Okay, what's stopping you? Okay, but why is that? Like, we need to get really curious and really honest with ourselves because at the end of the day, if we just keep on this hamster wheel, it's life is going to pass us by. And
Yeah,
I don't know about
I don't feel
you.
like I'm 40, but it's like it's already like
No,
whoa, like I only have yeah. I feel you right there. It's like whoo, time's getting short. I better do something. Yeah, yeah, I
well,
agree totally.
and I think many people that have been through really hard things, we've all been through hard things, but if you
Right.
have been faced with cancer, illness, wheelchair bound, injury, death in the family, loss of a loved one, grief of an old identity, maybe you're transitioning, maybe like I have clients that have moved their family across the country, they've moved across the country, they have set powerful boundaries, and then there's a new identity. Myself, I've moved 4 times in the last 5 years. I had to move away from everything I knew. I was full time in the military for almost 10 years to move away with my husband. So, like, I've had to grieve those losses. And sometimes, like, it just gets really hard to see how far you like where what you really want to let where you really want to go, right? But I think um, I lost my train of I was like, why did I bring
We're
this
like the
up?
same, yeah, because we go so deep.
Because you're like,
Yeah.
Crystal, where are you going with this? So I was thinking about um the identity shift because come on, it's gonna come to me. The OPOs are none of your business. That's right.
I like that. I love that. Opioids. I love that.
um
So you're talking about,
yeah.
you know what?
And
You
this is
helped
what
me
happens.
remember,
That's
but
all good.
I really suck at helping people remember stuff.
You're
Because
all
I'm always
you're
like,
usually really good. Anyways, you get the point. You have
right.
one shot, right? And
Yes.
so, don't wait. This is my this I'm landing my plane. All right. So, don't wait for an emergency. We've all been through
Don't
hard
wait.
things. Don't wait for an emergency. Have a long-term strategy. You get to design the life that you desire. You can accomplish the things that are going to bring you freedom. It just might take a little bit to get there. You might need to hire a team. You got to get around the great community, the people that are going to support you and cheer you on. But reset your values. Get out there and do something fun. Do more of what brings you joy, but do the hard things too because they're worth it and you're worth it. So whew, that took a while to come back
I
around, but I
love
knew it
that
was coming.
though.
That's part of like the hard stuff too, right? Is like
Hmm.
I could have panicked. I was almost there, but like we're coming back around, right? You have to
Yeah.
trust that
Yeah.
it's going to happen. You're going to land on your feet. It's going to be
Hmm.
okay. But we have to roll up our sleeves and we have to do it messy. Like it's part of the game. There's no easy button to life.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So I'll get off my soapbox now. This has been such an awesome time with you. I know we could talk for
Oh,
hours,
I
but I
know.
am so excited.
I love our live streams, even though you do most of the setup work. Thank you. I just love it because having a genuine conversation and being able to share and possibly learn. That's amazing. See, my
Hmm.
Freedom Friday. Today is Friday. To me, this is not work. This is my
Exactly.
freedom. I want to. Earlier, I was talking about elevating yourself, doing something that freedom day that you're going to do something that you love. And guess what? I love talking to Chris Lord. So Freedom Friday, I was like, let's go. So
Yes.
hopefully, do you want to recap? And everyone's challenge. So next week we're gonna hold you accountable, and when you come back, feel free to share. And you know what? If there's anything hard, DM, contact any of us. Or if you'd like to share publicly, let's talk about it. I am very, very open. And yes, no matter what, Annette, she's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I'm excited. I know this is actually just the beginning to
Hmm.
me in terms of conversation, kind of like how you've helped me start a journey of right. I'm with my chronic illness. I was bedridden for 2 years, right? Like endometriosis, still suffering every day. But guess what? I'm still alive. So I'm going to do the best I can with the best version of myself. And I hope everyone can do that. If you can't, call someone you trust. Let us know. Crystal Laura is one of the best supportive person. Every morning, like when I get to chat with her, you just put a smile on my face. I'm like,
Aw.
like a little, and then my husband's like, do you have a girl crush on her? I go, yeah, she's a powerful woman. I love all powerful women. Of course, like
Yes.
this is called boss crush. Okay, I love boss babes, and of course, men out there. Listen, as long as you have a kind heart, as long as you like the work ethic, the attitude I'm talking about, keep yourself elevated, right? Then let's rock it. Let's rock this.
Yes.
I'm excited.
But being real and authentic is part of the game, right? So, and not being afraid of the tough conversations, right? And I think that's ultimate freedom because we're living in alignment,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, I've talked a lot about this in my programs, in my leadership programs, is like we don't have to cover up pieces of ourselves. Like this is it. Where there's no script, I have a 3x5 card with the 3 questions. That's it. Like it's just raw, just us,
Same,
right?
same.
I always say, like, I host my workouts right here in my spare bedroom, right? I have a tripod,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
phone, and the internet.
same.
No fancy studio. It's just me and you, like raw. So if you have questions, you need support, please reach out because we're going to give you the good, bad, the ugly, the everything in between. We're going to give you laughs. We're going to give you energy. We're going to give you support. We're going to cheer you on, but we're also going to challenge you to level up and be your best self because you're worth it. And the world needs more people like you, raw, authentic, showing up powerfully. So we're here for it. I'm so excited for Freedom Fridays. This is the
This is our
beginning
first
of,
episode, right?
this is the
Like,
first one officially.
I
Um,
know. It was so good. I enjoyed it. Thank you. You bring so
you're
much value every life. I mean, like, I'm already learning something. This is why Freedom
always
Friday, go learn something. I love it.
every day, every
Every,
day. and
every.
and I think just one more point, because I think when this is just the beginning, right? When we talk about Freedom Friday, I can't wait to go back and watch this first episode. Like this is gonna be great.
Okay.
So let's release the timeline of what it has to look like.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be freedom? Like, do we
Hey,
really have
heck
to
yes.
plan every
Yeah,
single
that's a
thing? Yeah, we're
great
going to be here
idea.
every Friday at noon Eastern, unless something happens. But this is going to be consistent. We're going to show up consistently. But like, I think God and life is going to bring topics to us and going to bring the right people into this space. So if you feel inclined to have this conversation, maybe we'll bring you up and we can share in this conversation. So please send us a message if you have a topic or an idea for Freedom Friday, you want to be featured. Please let us know. Let's
Mm-hmm.
join this conversation. Let's not make this the biggest kept secret, and let's just have fun with it. Why not have fun?
Yes. I love how she always says, why not? Why not? Yeah,
Why
why
not?
not? Let's go.
Yes, let's go. All right. Well, happy Friday. I want to check in with the comments, see if there's any other questions. Please
Okay.
continue your comments and questions. Thank you all for those of you who are here live or catching this
Thank
on
you.
replay. Please let us know what your thoughts are. Tag us on social. Clip these audio clips and these videos and share them because the world needs these messages. Someone in your life needs to hear this message today. So,
And
Freedom
it's
Fridays,
free.
yes. Yes, it's
So,
free. Why
yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Free 99.
Yeah.
Freedom Fridays. All right.
$3.99. I love that. $3.99. Let's go. Yeah. Share
Yes.
and yeah. Oh,
All
I
right.
love this.
Well,
Okay.
I love you. I hope you have a
I
great
love you.
rest of your day. Everyone, go out, be great, because the world needs more of you at your 100%. So go cruise beyond limits. Oh gosh, just have a wonderful rest of your Freedom Friday. And
Freedom Friday. Let's go. Thank
yes,
you. Love
thank you.
you.
Have a great day,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.